Hey everyone, this is Jim Eischen of Lofty Learning, and thank you for joining us for another COVID-19 5 Questions, 5 Minutes. This is a social media project through WMD Foundation. WMD Foundation is a not-for-profit foundation dedicated to promoting peaceful conflict resolution. And I have with me today Carmen Martinez Tittman. Carmen, thank you for being with us this morning.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do is ask 5 questions, and let's just start with question number 1. Carmen, although I already know the answer to the first question, but what is your name, your occupation, and where are you right now?
My name is Carmen, like the opera, Martinez Tittman. My occupation is that I'm a clinical social worker, and I am in Corrales, New Mexico, which is a little farming village outside of Albuquerque.
Cool. Question number 2. What do you do that you think makes the world a little bit of a better place?
I think that my entire professional life has been dedicated to providing service to others, and it's a value that I grew up with. Specifically right now, I am working with firefighters, providing stress reduction, a stress reduction program in conjunction with other firefighters. And we've been doing this for 4 years. It's basically based on John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness-based stress reduction program. I also work with kids. I volunteer with kids in the schools doing pretty much the same thing. Different populations, same kind of work.
Sounds amazing. Question number 3, what have you learned from the COVID-19 pandemic?
So here's where I have to tell a little bit of a story. Hopefully it will only take 30 seconds, but in about 1850, 1847, somewhere in there, the Choctaw Indians were relocated through what some historians call the Indian Holocaust, and they suffered a lot. During that time, they heard about the potato famine in Ireland, and they got together and took up a collection, and they raised $170 to send to Ireland. And now, during this COVID pandemic, the Navajo reservation, which is across 3 states, is suffering badly. They are the highest per capita in our nation of COVID incidents and very high deaths. And there's lots of reasons that we don't have time to get into, but they're suffering. And so what happened was Ireland took up a collection for them, and they have raised almost $1 million. Over $3 million have been raised to help the Navajo Nation with a lot of their socioeconomic problems that are contributing to their high rate of COVID. And so what I've learned from this is how love is really action. Compassion is action. It's important to have the reflective piece, the contemplative piece that enables you to kind of get control of your thoughts and reactions. But providing service is always in relation to other. And I've seen it happen. I've been involved with the Navajo Nation because I have friends who are Navajo. I've worked with the Navajo Nation. And so I've been tracking a lot what's been going on there. And this is amazing to me that, you know, of all the people in the world, the Irish have raised almost $1 million to help them.
That's amazing. What do you think the greatest conflict or challenge is of this pandemic? That's question 4.
Well, I think the greatest conflict and challenge is something that was there already, and now it is amplified. It is brought to the light even more in this pandemic, which is socio and economic injustice, disparity, inequity, poverty. So New Mexico is a very poor state, and being a social worker my whole professional life, I'm very much in tune with what goes on in our state in terms of poverty. And that is the biggest challenge, is how are we going to remedy a situation that was already broken? You know, people are already suffering from a lack of resources, a lack of access to healthcare, a lack of Navajo Nation, there's 15,000 people without running water. So people were already suffering, and then you know there's this layering and layering of insult and assault upon that. So that is a huge challenge for all of us.
And what do you think, final question, is the solution, if there is one, to that conflict or challenge?
You know, I mean, there's so many. That's a multi-layered kind of solution, but I think what we need to do is we need to act. We need to do things that help people. Uh, so whatever you do personally on a micro level, you need to do. Whatever people can do on a macro level, they need to do. They need to volunteer. They need to contribute. They need to get involved. If you have some resources, find the organizations that are working with folks and contribute money. I mean, there's so many people right now in dire need. I think you can only do that if you have true compassion for others. You know, if you really are able to provide accurate empathy and have compassion and then act, do something to help people. That's kind of general.
Carmen, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I wanted to say two things. Number one, thank you for all your service. And number two, love is action. That's a great line, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for this interview. I've really appreciated it.
You're welcome, Jim. Thank you.